I was going to add something to the video here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that in the editing suite like you're supposed to. But on the bag, there's a zipper that unzips as you might expect zippers to operate. I wish it was metal, but hard to find anything made of metal these days. You know. What I wanted to show you especially is what comes out of it. This is what becomes of leaves when they go through the grinder. It turns into this. It turns into mostly a fine powder. Some trash. Fish that out of there. But makes a nice little mulch for your beds and around your plants on the ground too. Some of it comes out fine, super fine. Some of it comes out almost whole. It kind of depends on how big the thing is. You know, if it's a leaf off of, say, a mulberry tree or an oak tree, it's going to grind it up finer. These kind of slip through because they're so small to start with. But that's what it can do. That's the end product. It's much better to put it on your plants, in my opinion, than to throw it in the trash can. You know, or to blow it down the street and let it clog up the gutters in front of somebody else's house. That's not very good either. I'll put some mulch. Some of these leaves are hard to get to. Put that there on my plants. So I live in the desert. I live in the Mojave Desert in Las Vegas, Nevada. And yeah, since Nevada, not Nevada, you can tell if someone's a local, they call it Nevada. Anyway, that is that. And then it just zips up. So my point of mentioning the desert is that in the desert, it's really important to keep your soil covered if possible. Sometimes it's kind of hard because the wind blows it off, you know. But you want to try to keep your soil covered as much as possible. You look around my yard here, and the ground's all covered either in fine crushed rock or leaves or both. Because bare soil is dry soil in the desert. We don't get enough rain to keep things moist, you know. And things just dry out. All that noise you hear in the background is my pond. I'll show you that quickly. This is something, speaking of leaves, this is my nemesis when it comes to leaf management. Leaves like to fall in here from these trees and then fall to the bottom of the pond and rot. That makes my pond smell bad. There are, I don't know if you can see them or not. No, there we go. There are goldfish in there. There's about 20, 25 goldfish in there at the moment. And that pump there, that fountain, actually came with a nozzle on top with little holes in it that they kept plugging up because the gunk from the bottom of the pond gets past the filters inside the filter box and gets plugged up in the holes. I finally got tired of cleaning the little holes out, so I just took the cap off, and sure enough, the water doesn't shoot sky high, it just goes that high. So that aerates the pond now. I kind of like it, and actually goldfish like it better. They come to the surface more now than they did when it was sprinkling. I think the sprinkling kind of bothered them. Anyway, that's the noise, and that's one of the places they have to try to keep leaves out of. You know, the good thing about having this African sumac tree, that's what this is, above the pond is it shades the pond. The bad thing is African sumac, one of its adaptations to living in the heat, so they can live in a town like this, is it sheds its leaves year-round. Just whenever it feels the need to, you know, get rid of leaves that aren't performing very well anymore, just drops them. It doesn't drop them only one time of year, just whenever it wants to, you know, whenever it needs to. So you wind up with leaves all over the place. So that's what I use that leaf vacuum for a lot, is keeping these leaves cleaned up. So thank you very much for watching the part 2 of the video.